Vara, when would we start that cross browser like IE and Safari? I mean, um,
That is
now we are doing in Firefox.
that is nothing. See, only one statement is different to execute your script in different
Just
browser.
browser driver.
Yeah, just we have to add one new driver for that particular browser, and you will be defining a driver right in our Selenium script. You will be creating a driver
Yeah.
object, correct?
Yes.
So
Instead of
only that
Firefox, we have to create
statement
it.
will change.
Oh, okay.
That's it. The rest of the script and all will be same. Nothing will be changing.
Because
Hmm?
okay, because I tried just tried to change into IE,
Hmm.
but it did not work.
What is the
So
problem?
it was showing some errors. Then I thought like okay, let me. I did not go that to very deep, but
Yeah, we will see
I
that. We will also see that how to execute the script in IE as well as Chrome browsers in our
okay,
sessions.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And see that CSS and XPath, really these two are very important. I will tell you today. I will show you today how very useful it is while working with the dynamic controls in the web applications. How effectively we can use the XPath and CSS paths in our script.
Okay.
We can see that today. See first option. See the XML path, XPath. I have given here one example. With examples, just have make clearly. With examples, we can try one by one today to understand better how all these options we can use in XPath. So XPath, the first one is default one is absolute path. We don't use this frequently because clear. Always absolute path will begin from the root HTML tag and till the web element which you want to identify. So from the starting from the root tag till the web element which you want to identify, all the elements in the path should be defined. If you miss any one element in the path, it will not be identified. So we don't use this absolute path very frequently, and we use most frequently relative path. See that you can try this in the redbus.in. Open redbus.in application. In Firefox browser. Just try this Jomi also. Open just Firefox browser and open redbus.in application, and also open IDE. Okay, open IDE and open Firebug in the browser. Okay, yeah, open the Firebug. Now see, in this example I have given here uh, from text box. To identify from text box, just highlight that from text box. So look at that here. I am defining a relative path starting from division tag, division 1, and inside that again one more division 1. 1 second. Close together. Hello? Hello? Okay. So that means, see, if you observe here in the Firebug, see, these are the divisions. This is the first division. Hello? No, one second, no. Mane call చేస్తాను మా just with 1 minute లో నేనే కాల్ చేస్తాను. హలో హలో హలో
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's continue, Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, see here, we are defining a relative path for this from text box. Yeah. Starting from a division element, not from the HTML root tag. See, that is what we are defining, starting from this particular division, second division, and inside that input tag. So just if you try this, just copy this xpath, and you can try this, Jomi. Just I will ping you this. Just try this. And open this, and open IDE, and try, you also try Raja. And in the target, just paste that xpath. So see that it is highlighting. So it will be always good practice using a relative path instead of using xpath in Selenium scripts. Okay. And third option in xpath, using attributes. See, other than ID, name attributes, we can use any attribute including ID and the name also. If ID is available with unique value, we no need to go to xpath. You can directly use by ID or by name or by class. Those properties, those methods we can use to identify any web element using ID or name or a class attributes. Suppose if there is no attribute like ID, name, class available for any web element, and there is some other attribute which is having some unique value, then you want to identify that element using that particular attribute. See, for example, in the same redbus.in, the same from text box, I will be now defining the xpath using attributes. See, if you look at this attributes values for this text box, ID is available, class is available, data message is available, and data validate, and placeholder, and there are many other attributes are available apart from ID. Suppose in case if ID is not available for this text box, and we have only data message or placeholder, these are the attributes are available. So in that case, how you can identify this element using this data message attribute? See what attribute I am using here. Here I am using ID. Even ID also we can use, or even we can use data message also. Just let me copy this first. ID. Let us try this. Attributes, xpath using attributes. Paste this. So now using ID, let me try this first. See, it is highlighting. Now let us change this by using data message. Data message. What is the value of data message? Just copy that here from the application. data message is equal to clear. I changed data message instead of ID. I'm using data message now. Just highlight it. So still it is highlighting. So like this, we can use any attribute. If that attribute has unique value, then we can use that attribute to identify that particular element. Any attribute can be used to identify elements in XPath like this. Clear, Jomi?
Yes, Vara.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, tell me.
One question, like it is not it is not mandatory to use these attributes, like the XPath attributes. If it is easily found, if it is easily, the object is easily recognized by normal attribute, we can always use that, right?
No, see, normal attributes we can't use. All normal attributes cannot be used. See, to identify any element, you can use only ID or name, correct? We can't use any attributes to identify the element. Only ID, name can be used directly.
What I meant is that if a field is recognizable by either ID or name, then the recommended way is to use that, right?
Correct. We can use directly ID and name. No need to use XPath.
Yeah, if it is if there are more fields with the same attributes like ID and name, multiple occurrences are there, then we can use this XPath.
Yes. When we go for XPath, if that main attributes like ID, name and class cannot be used to identify any elements, if you want to use some other attribute other than ID, name, class, you want to use some other attribute to identify that particular element. So in that case, we can use the XPath. You got the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, zoom in.
Yes, Vara.
Yeah, let us continue now.
Okay.
Okay, so we are discussing relative path, right? So using relative path, you got the point. See, XPath, when we use XPath is, see, we have discussed, right, ID, name, class, tag name. These are the attributes that can be used to identify any elements. In case if these attributes cannot identify the element, then we can go for either XPath or CSS path. So again in XPath, we can use attributes to identify the element. Attributes means any attribute can be used, not only ID, name here. Inside XPath, we can use any attribute of the element to identify that element, not only the ID, name. Got it? We can use any attribute of the element. So in this case here we are using data message. See, we can't use this attribute directly without XPath or CSS path. Either XPath or CSS path should be used to, if you want to use this particular attribute to identify this element. So now we are seeing here how to use this attribute in XPath. That is what just now we have seen this. And similarly, in XPath, we can also use multiple attributes, not only one attribute. Multiple attributes can be combined with AND keyword. AND keyword can be used to combine multiple attributes in XPath. Say attribute 1 equal to value 1, again AND at the rate of attribute 2 equal to value 2, like this. See, now if you take this same example, for the same from text box, see here I am using two types of attributes. One is type, another one data message. Suppose I want to use these two attributes to identify this element. It will work like this. We can use multiple attributes in XPath. See, look at this. Okay, see that type and data message. We are using two things, two attributes we are using inside xpath. So that is one way. Multiple attributes also can be used inside xpath. Okay, and the next one, child element position. We can use child element position to identify the web elements in xpath. See, for example, in this redbus.in, go to this table. In this table, to select these day numbers, I am using this xpath here. What is xpath? Starting from division with ID on a text onward calendar ID and table of 2, T body, TR of 4 and TD of 4. See this TR4, table of 2, TD of 4. What is this means? Inside this division, second table, correct? Inside the second table, T body, and inside the T body, TR element, fourth element, fourth TR element, and inside that fourth TD element. So here TD of 4 means fourth child element of this TR tag. So like this we can define the child number, which child you want to select, either first or second or third child in the group of child elements. So like this we can define in xpath. See, look at this, take this xpath. Try this. So open table first. Yeah, it is open. Now highlight it. It's not highlighting. Yeah, there is a space here. Remove this blank space. Now highlight. Okay, again x, small x, xpath division and table of 2. One second. What is the division? This is what division, and inside that table of 2, second table, and inside the second table we are selecting T body, inside that fourth row and TDF 4. Yes, correct only now. What is the problem, sir? Okay, let us see that first division is identified or not. We'll go one by one. Starting from division, just cut this one up to here. First let us see, is it highlighting? No. There is some issue in division itself. Let us see what property is there. Division ID is right, correct? And what is the problem? It's not identifying. xpath division of. Okay, inside that is there anything else? No. It should identify, man. Nothing is wrong. Jomi, is it identifying for you this particular division element?
1 second.
It should identify. Why I'm not getting this one? Just division element. Okay, 1 second. I will check this one. Yeah, now see that. TR5. I'll give TDF4. See, now it is highlighting. I don't know. Same thing we have now, but now it is highlighting. Just I will copy this. Try this one. Same thing. Okay, T body and TR of 5, TD of 4. Okay, if you have some group of elements inside one element, inside the parent element, then we can choose any one element from that group of elements using its number. That is this option. How it works. It is highlighting fine. Is it working fine now, Jomi?
Yeah, it is working.
Yeah. Now see the sixth option. We can use last child element. How to identify the last child element? So it is last is the function we use for this. Last. It identifies last child element in the group of children. So let us take this one. See what it will identify now. Inside the fourth row, it will select last column value, last TD element. In the fourth row, it will select last TD element. Just see that. Yeah, again same problem I'm getting. Next part. R&D. Okay, let me go to previous one. Here it is working fine, right? Yeah. Now I will change it here. So instead of giving TD of 4, just modify this here. Simply instead of 4, give last empty brackets inside the square brackets. Now I highlight this. It should highlight that particular element. Last element should be highlighted. See, it is the last element in the fourth row. Got it? So like this, we can use last function inside the xpath to select or to identify last child element in the group of children. Got it? Okay. Now the next one, text option. We can use text function to select some element with some specific text displayed inside that element. See, for example, in the same example, now our current this element, what it will do? It will select last element inside fifth row, correct? Inside the fifth row, it will select the last element. So this xpath can select the element only inside the fifth row. But if I want to select if I want to select a TD element with the text 10 or with the text 15, inside the table, not inside the fifth row. The 15th, the TD element with value or text 15 can be displayed in any row. Sometimes it can be in the third row, sometimes it can be in the fourth row or fifth row. It may change dynamically, for example. So in this case, if I want to select a TD element with text 15 inside the second table, now this xpath will select only the TD element inside the fifth row. But how I want to define the xpath? To select some TD element with a particular text value, that is 15, inside the second table. Then how we should define this? It should be defined like this. Inside table 2, T body, I remove this tr5 because this TD can be at any row. We don't know that. So that's why I'm using here double slash, because this TD is not immediate child of this T body. Understand? This TD is not a immediate child of this T body. So that's why I'm using here the relative path symbol. What is it? Double slash. Absolute path means the tag, the next tag should be immediate child of the previous tag in the absolute path. That means that is a single slash. If you use double slash, that denotes it is absolute path. That means this TD element is inside T body, but it may not be immediate child, direct child of T body. The TD element should be inside the T body somewhere, no issues. Got it? And inside this TD, what is the value I am expecting? I want to select a TD element with the text equal to 10 or 15 or 15. See that? Clear? It is highlighting element 15. If I change here to 21, see, it will highlight 21 elements inside the second table. So with irrespective of row number where that 21 is displayed, I want to identify that particular element using text what is displayed inside the element. Got it, Jomi?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try this. Take the previous simply and modify text of equal to 21. See, just modify small thing. What I have done here, I removed a tr tag. Tr element is removed. So there are two double slashes I am using here. And next we are defining TD of txt equal to 21. So it is identifying that particular element. Dynamically we are identifying this a number element. Have you tried this, Jomi? It's working?
Yeah, it is working.
Yeah, okay. So the next option, using contains method. Using contains method. You tried this, huh? Raja? Huh? HID, copy that value, ID value from this here, highlight this, highlight some element and go top, up, and this is the division. This value we have to copy. you have to copy this value, copy this entire value id, double slash division square bracket at the rate of id equal to, and copy this id value inside single quote and close the square bracket. Next, table of 2 in the square brackets, t body double slash.
Mara?
Yes, Jeremy.
Mara, like how do you highlight that in the date from the date picker using Firebug highlighter?
Oh, this one. First, you click on this text box, okay? After clicking this, you click on this table somewhere here. Then it won't be closed.
Okay.
Now you can highlight that
Okay.
table. Just you click on somewhere inside the table before highlighting
Okay.
with the Firebug. Got it?
But what if, yeah, it is working, but what if there are few applications which doesn't have like when you now you told me to click on the top part so that it will not get closed. But if it is a pop-up kind of thing, and what if you're not able to capture all those
It can capture.
the source of it?
In Firebug, it won't be problem to me. It can be captured. It will capture anything, everything. See, it will capture.
Yeah, you get my point, right? In QTP, if there are
Control V,
if there are
something
few
like
things
that.
which cannot be.
Yeah. I got your point here. See, if there is any something. See, even though, see, for example, if I want to select that tooltip, okay, got it? Huh?
Okay.
Maybe the
Yeah.
tooltip, right here, somewhere it may be captured now. If you go inside that, I think so. Tooltip is this one, title, not title. Yeah, date in the format of, see, that is what it is displaying here. Date in the format, dd, mm, yy format. It is a just attribute. It's not a separate element in HTML file.
Okay. Okay, got it. Yeah.
So something, see, suppose if you are not able to, for example, if this element is a HTML element, okay, I want to capture that HTML element. So suppose if you are not able to click on this tooltip element, then you click here. So just you keep that open.
Okay.
You keep it open, then click somewhere. Got it? If you click somewhere, that element also will be captured here in the Firebug automatically. Then you can go and search that particular element where it is displayed. So it should be next to this particular element what you click. See here, suppose if this tooltip is a element, separate HTML element in the HTML file, then it should be displayed after date of journey element, right? So now you click on the date of journey element. So this is the tag for this date of journey. So the next element should be tooltip element. If it is separately defined, I'm talking, okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Got it. Only thing is we have to keep it open at the time of clicking with the Firebug. You no need to click on the say exact element. You can click on the next element also wherever you can click. But
Okay,
that
fine.
particular element
Yes.
should be keep open, keep displayed in the web page.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Done it, well? Highlighting. Okay. So this is a text method. That means how to identify the elements using dynamic text value, using text value. And next one, contains method. See, using contains method. Contains means it's like kind of it will identify the web element with some attribute value inside the attribute. It's kind of substring, using substring attribute value or partial attribute value. We use this. See, for example, now let us take this, what is this, text box, from text box. See, I'm using here data message property. See, for this text box, highlight this data message. What is that? See, there is some length, a very lengthy value is there. Please enter a source city or invalid city. This is the data message attribute value. So I want to identify some partial value inside this attribute to identify this text box. See what value I am using? xpath / input contains at the rate of data message, it is attribute name, and inside this attribute enter a source city. Enter also not required. Suppose I am giving just only source city. If this attribute contains this city, this value, then it will identify that element. So it is highlighting successfully. So contains can be used like this. Input / input in the square bracket contains at the rate of data message is the attribute name, comma, and what is the substring of that attribute or partial value of that attribute. That means it will identify the element with the attribute data message which contains this substring source city. Yeah, source city is there inside this data message value. So it will highlight that particular text box successfully without any issues. Got it? So that is the contains method. Contains method can be used like this in xpath. And similarly, starts with and ends with. There are two more functions we can use. Starts with and ends with. See, instead of writing here contains in the same xpath, I am giving now starts with. Starts hyphen with. Starts with a particular some text inside the data message attribute. What is the starting of the data message? Please enter, right? Please enter is the value which begins. Please enter. See, look at that data message, please enter. So I am giving that value. Please enter. Yes, that's it. See, still it is highlighting. Please enter. Okay. So like this we can use starts with. Starts with. Okay, and similarly it should also work with ends with. Ends with. What is the ends with? City. City is the ending and last string. Ending string is city. So let me give the city. City. Ends with this one. Okay, right. Okay, now there is some problem. I also didn't get this working fine, but there is a method called function called ends with. We can use this. Let us try with some other element. 1 second, I will go to some other element, or we can try with some other property. Let us try this. Input xpath equal to / input x id equal to, sorry, ends with, let me use ends with HID, comma, SOURC, source. I'm defining. Not working. No. Okay. It's not working. Input ends with okay, ma'am. There is something problem in the syntax, and let me have to check this. Okay. No, actually, I tried morning also. It didn't work out. I have to check this one. We'll check this one. Okay. Ends with, also there is a function actually. We can use this also, but it is not working. Why it is? I have to check this. And next one, come to the dissonant. What is this dissonant? Dissonant option. Dissonant option, see that here, how I use dissonant. First we have to understand what is a dissonant and what is a child and what is the ancestor. See, in this HTML file, for example, if I take this division tag, for this division tag, label is a child, input is a child. Got it? Okay. Suppose if I go to this particular division, this division, for this division, this is child and this is label is not a child for this division element. This is called dissonant. Dissonant can be anything which is inside that element, inside one element. That dissonant element can be either child element or it can be grandchildren also. It can be child or grandchild, anything. Dissonant means it can be either child or grandchilds. That is called dissonant. Child means it should be only child. It should be only direct child, not a grandchild. Accepted if it is a child. Got it? That is the difference. See, now there is a dissonant one option in xpath we can use. See how I am using dissonant here. Inside this table, I guess it is table. Inside the second table, this one, inside the second table, see, from this second table I am on to select TD. What is TD? See, if I look at this, inside this second table, this TD tag is it a child for this table? No, this TD is not a child, direct child for this table element. It is a grandchild. Got it? So I want to identify this TD element as a dissonant using dissonant option directly without defining tbody and tr tags in my xpath. I don't want to define tbody, tr tags in my xpath. From this table, I want to identify directly the TD element. Understand? So how I define here? See, table up to / dissonant and 2 colons and a TD of with text 10, TD element with text 10. I want to identify a TD element with the text 10 inside table 2 dissonance elements. Got this, Jomi? See, instead of using dissonant here, I can also use one more option. What is this? / we can use. Got it? That also will be same. See, we defined it, I think so, where here. See, look at that. Both are same. If I give here / also, it is working fine. Even if I give dissonant option also, it will work fine. Got it? This one or this one, both are same. Here I am using / and here I am using dissonant option. See, what is the meaning of /? This TD element can be either child or grandchild. It will identify. The same meaning the dissonant also. Dissonant means that element can be either child or grandchild. it can be identified. That is called dissonant element. Understand, Jomi? Just copy this. So it is highlighting 10, I guess. So it is highlighting 10. Okay. Dissonant option. How to use dissonant option in xpath. So this is the dissonant option. You try this, Jomi. Dissonant option. Dissonant, that means from this parent element, this TD can be dissonant. This TD element can be at any level inside this table. Dissonant option, it is used to select. So it will be defined like this. Select dissonant element. Dissonant element in the current node or element, current element. Okay. Now similarly we can use one more option, child option. Say that how the child option is defined. So child option is similar to this one, like this one, where we define this one. So inside TR of 4, I define directly TD of last element. Same thing we are defining here. Child option we can use to identify any one element from the direct children's. So inside this TR4 row, I want to select second TD of 2. So actually this is not required. Even without writing also it is working fine. It will work fine. Just by adding this child option also, it will work fine. So it is highlighting. Even if I remove this child option also, it will work fine without any issues. See that it is highlighting fine. Just simply we are adding here child. Okay. So we don't use this much option, not important, child one. Now let us see, this is one very important thing and very interesting. Following option. What is this following option? See here, I have defined one complex xpath here. See what is this xpath is? If you open in the redboss.in, you search something. Just you search it here. Chennai, Bangalore, and select some date, April 11th. Okay, I selected some date. Just enter some values in from, to, and date of journey, and click this search buses. Now it will display one list of buses. List of buses will be displayed here. It is a table. See, now what is my requirement is here. I want to get, for example, SRM transports departure time. SRM transports bus time, departure time I want to get. From this table, I want to get, for example, KPN travels departure time I want to get. It is a departure time and it is arrival time. So I want to get this departure time element for KPN travels. Jomi, are you getting my points here? See, if it is QTP, you have to define very big logic here to select this particular or to get this particular departure time value for this particular KPN. First, you have to search this entire table or rows where this KPN travels is displayed, in which row it is displayed. We have to navigate through entire table. We have to find it where this KPN travels is displayed, in which row it is displayed, and then inside that row you have to get this particular element. Like that, you have to write a program logic to get this element. But now using one simple, or it's not simple, some little complex xpath, you can directly get this element. See how it is defined here, this xpath. It is a little complex. I will explain one by one. Xpath equal to, see, first let us see the structure of this table in this file, in the Firebug. Suppose I want to get this value, right? Let us see the structure of this. Yeah, see, this is the this is the first entire row. The entire row is this one, and this division is inside this list item. See, this is UL. UL is nothing but the entire table. Entire table is selected as a UL element, and this UL is inside this division. That division class name is private buses, and the UL class is bus list. And inside that there are multiple list items. Each list item is a row. One row is separate list item. See, it is one list item. If I go to, see, it is second list item, it is first list item, second list item, it is third list item, like that. Inside the first list item, see, I want to see what is this KPN. I want to check this element value, is it KPN or not. So where that KPN is displayed, we have to check that first, not this one. See, this is the KPN. Inside this division element, KPN is displayed. Go there. CH4. This is the KPN. Title is KPN. Got it? That means you have to check here. You have to find H4 element with the title KPN inside this division and division. Okay, and LI and UL division tags. See how it is defined here. First, up to finding KPN item with the title KPN bus travels, where it is displayed. How to identify this particular element? This element, KPN element, where is this one? This one. So how to identify this particular element? So for that, how this xpath is defined? Starting from division with the class private buses, and inside that UL class is there. So inside that UL class, you can go one by one. So this is the private buses tag. Inside that UL bus list element is there. So that is what we define, UL bus list. And inside that LI, li element is there. Inside ul, li element is there. So that is li, and inside li element, second division, say div, again div. See that inside liv there is first div is there, and inside that again one more div is there. So inside this div, I want to find the class details block class. See, this is the block I want to get first. So how it is defined? Inside the second div, the class name should be details block bus data block. So that is this block. That is this division element. Once you get this division element, inside that h4 element. So h4 element, inside that I define h4 element with the title. For example, KPN I want to get. So I can give here whatever the transport or whatever the bus you want to look for, that bus title you can pass it here. If I am looking for KPN, you can pass it here KPN. If I am looking for SRM transports, you can give that name here. Okay, SRM transports. Once I get the SRM transport, this is the SRM transport. Now I want to get from this particular row, I want to get this value. Understand? So how to get that value? So where this value is displayed now, where this value is defined inside HTML, see that. It is little, this is a data block, right? You close this block. See what is the next block? See, this is the next block. That means once you find this h4 tag, again you have to come back to this division, then you have to continue, you have to go to you have to go to this block. Got it? See here. So this is here. Up to here we are identifying that bus title element. Bus title element. Once you find that bus title element, then I want to go to, see where this particular element is displayed. After this particular element, this is the block. Inside this block, okay, that is this one. See, after this block, next division you have to go. Inside this division, so this is the one. Inside this division, so you have to come down. This is the A. See that. This is the element, A element, which contains this 10:45 PM value. So that is the element I want to identify. So here, see the structure of this HTML tag. First you have to come to h4. Again you have to come directly into this division tag. From this h4 tag, you should come directly into this div tag. Understand? From this h4, next element should be div elements. Understand? Clear? So with the class name time block. So how it is written? After identifying h4 element, then we are using following keyword. That means after this h4 tag, go to directly division tag with the class value as time block, bus data block. So what this following will do? It will find division element after this h4 element. So this division element can be at any position. It may not be inside this h4 element. This division is actually not inside this h4 element. It is outside of h4 element. Got it? If you look at this here, this division element is not inside h4 and is not even inside this division. It is outside of h4 and outside of division. But this division is displayed after h4. Understand? So this division element is following this h4. So we are using here following keyword and with 2 semicolons. Then you are defining division with the class name time block. So now it will identify this division element. After identifying this h4, and will check this KPN title value, is it matching with our SRM transports? If it is matching with the transports, then it will come directly division tag with value time block class. Once it is identified that time block class, Then I want to go inside division child. So inside that I want to go division child. Again go to division child. Again go to A. See, that is what I am doing. Go to the child. See here I can use like this also. See, I want to go grandchild. What is meaning of this? Inside this division, I want to go to the grandchild directly. So here this tag can be any tag. What is this meaning of child, 2 semicolons and the star means, asterisk means any child element. It can be division or it can be any type of child element. That is the meaning of this child. And inside this child, I want to get a tag with value departure time. Got it? So it will highlight directly that particular departure time element for SRM transports. So really it will save lot of coding. See, it is not, you can see that here where it is highlighting. Yeah, this one, right? SRM transports. What is that SRM transports? Is there here? Yeah, SRM transports here somewhere. Okay, I will give KPN so that it will highlight immediately. KPN. Let us give here. See, it is highlighting. Look at this. This element is getting highlighted. See, what is this element? A element. So this element is getting highlighted. So directly it is highlighting KPN element. You can see that. What is the bus name of this particular tag? It should be KPN. What is the bus name? KPN. Look at that here. So this particular tag is highlighted directly. Okay, Jomi, just you can try this. XPath. So following, that means while working with dynamic elements in the web pages, you may have to create very complex, sometimes complex XPath to identify dynamic elements like this. And similar to following, there are some other functions similar to following. We can use ancestor. One more thing is there, ancestor. What is meaning of this? From the current tag, you can go back to any parent or any grandparent tags directly. You can identify any parent or grandparent tag for the current element using this ancestor. And similarly preceding. Preceding means it will identify any tag before this current element except parents. Other than parents, it is used to identify yeah.
In the previous command, right? You put */a. So */a is like
where must //
yeah, child : */a.
Yeah, correct.
No, sorry, I missed that part actually.
Yeah, what is this meaning is nothing but, see, inside the division, I want to go directly grandchild. See, what is the meaning of this child, doubles, colon and star means any tag, any node in this place is accepted. Any tag. Understand?
Okay.
Any child tag, any direct child tag. I think so. You can give just simply star also. Star also it will work. You can give simply star also. it may work. Instead of giving child
Okay.
semicolons, even if you give simply star, it will work. What is the meaning of star? Any element. That is the meaning of star.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
See, if you want to identify any parent element or grandparent element from the current element, then you can use this ancestor keyword. And similarly, to identify web element displayed before the current element other than parents or grandparents. That element should not be parent or grandparent of the current element. Okay. Hello? Hello? Yeah, Jomi. So these are the different options now we can use in XPath really. Really, if you really, while particularly XPath really I see very useful when you are working with dynamic elements. Okay, like this example, very good example, right? Working with redbus.in, either with the date table or inside this bus list table. If you want to work with this kind of web elements in the application, definitely this XPath will be very useful option to identify dynamic elements inside this table, dynamic table.
Yeah. Can you go to the document once? The document.
Yes, Jomi, I have opened.
Okay. So unless or until the data like SRM transport changes, unless it is changed, like this tag will completely work. This XPath code will completely work even if there is a change in the page, right? Like if it is dynamically changing except the SRM transports, this should never fail. I mean, like this command
Yes,
will always
exactly
work.
correct.
The
See,
object whatever
starting
we
from
have in
division, it should
XPath.
not change. Starting from division, see, suppose if they modify
Okay.
this division class, only then it will fail, correct? Otherwise, it won't fail.
Okay.
And inside the division class,
Okay.
there should be UL tag. Suppose if they insert one more tag inside UL, for example, before UL, if they added one more new element inside this division, then it may be failed, correct? See, but since we are using
Yeah.
here relative path, we are not using absolute path. Since we are using here relative path, definitely the failure probability will be very, very less.
Okay.
And also we are defining dynamically, we are defining that whatever the value, see, you will be defining using variable, you will be passing this value here.
Yes. Yes.
And so that we can dynamically identify whatever the right transport or bus name you want to search, you can get directly that element value dynamically.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, these are other two more options we can use, but here we're not using ancestor and proceedings. Sometimes it may be useful. Okay. So you have any doubts, Jomi? In this, there are some 15 to 16 different options that we can use in XPath, different ways of using XPath. Okay. Now, similarly, let us see CSS selector. That is another important locator in Selenium that we use. Really, CS selector is better than xpath. Better than xpath, because even though if you are using relative path in xpath, this small relative path is dependent on the XML tags hierarchy in the HTML file, correct? Not XML, the HTML tags hierarchy. This small relative path also might be dependent on that HTML tags hierarchy in the HTML file. Understand? Got it? So it will take more time to find that element if you use xpath than CSS selector. There are two advantages of CSS selector over xpath. The first advantage is the CSS selector is not dependent on HTML tags hierarchy in the HTML file, or we can say it is not dependent on HTML elements path. That is the first one. And the second one, the CSS selector is faster than xpath. It can identify very faster than xpath, CSS selector. See, what is that CSS selector is? Let me open CSS document. Yeah. See, CSS selector is CSS selector means, see, we know that in every web page developers will be using CSS files to define how the elements should be displayed and what color, what alignment, what margins, what cell padding, and all those things will be defined inside the CSS files, right? How they define the elements patterns or element formats in the CSS file using some selectors. They'll be using some selectors in the CSS file to define elements patterns or formats in the HTML page. So those selectors, what selectors will be used? By using those selectors, in Selenium, we can identify web elements as well. We can use those selectors which are defined or which are used inside the CSS file can be used in Selenium to identify the web elements. Understand? That is called CSS selectors. The selectors which are defined in the CSS file can be used in Selenium WebDriver to identify the web elements. See, what are the different types of CSS selectors that we can use and how to use those CSS selectors? The first one is HTML tag can be used as a, just simply HTML tag can be used in CSS selector to identify the web element. Say, for example, in the same redbus.in, to identify the text box, from text box, I'm going to use this CSS path. Now go to main page. Just write here CSS equal to input. See, the tag name of this text box is input, right? It is input. So input. So just simply we are giving that input, highlighted. See, it is highlighting. So we can just simply define the HTML tag name as a CSS path. It can identify that first element. It will identify first input element in the web page. And similarly, we can use class attribute. Only class attribute we can use in xpath. How to use a class attribute in xpath? This is the format, syntax of class attribute. Dot class we have to define. Dot and class value for that particular element. So inside, say for example, for this particular text box, what is the class? XX input. So how it is defined? CSS is equal to dot XX input. Like this we have to define the CSS path for this text box using class attribute. Highlighted, see, it is highlighting. CSS is equal to, just simply you can use dot class value of that particular element which you want to identify. Got it? So it is one way of using CSS path. And similarly, we can use ID attribute in XPath. The ID attribute should be preceded with hash symbol. If you want to use ID attribute in CSS path as a CSS path, then you should define like this. CSS is equal to just attribute name, ID value should be preceded with hash. So it is highlighting same text box successfully. Text source. And the next one, see, it is another format. See, we are defining here two HTML tags. First HTML tag 1, comma, HTML tag 2. So what it will do? It will select all HTML elements, HTML tag 1 and HTML2 elements. Both the elements it will select. See, if you define only one HTML tag, it will select the first HTML tag, first element with that HTML tag. If I define two HTML tags separated by comma, then it will select all HTML elements, either HT1 or HT2. All the elements will be selected. Okay. And this, so it cannot be highlighted here using IDE, but within the program you can use this way. Suppose if you want to get all input and all A elements for example, from division element. From division element, I want to get like this. You can write here CSS is equal to division space. Here I can define input comma A. It will return all input and A elements inside a division tag. That is what it will do. So like this we can use in the WebDriver script. We can use like this. If you want to get all inputs elements inside another element, then you can use like this. Okay, and see that HTML tag 1 space HTML tag 2. That is another format. What is this means? What is this means? It will return. It selects HT2 element inside HT1. Inside HT1. That means it is a parent, it is a descendant. It is a descendant. Descendant means it can be child or grandchild, any child. Understand? It should be parent and next should be descendant element. See, for example, I am using here div space input. See, if you look at this here, this input tag is inside div, correct? This input tag is inside div. So I can use here this one. Same thing. CSS is equal to div space input. So I am using that one here. See, it is highlighting element. That means it will find the input element inside the div element. So what is the first element inside this div? This is the first element. So it is highlighted. That's how it will work. So it is actually descendant, to identify descendants. Actually it is used to identify descendant elements. In XPath we are using descendant keyword. Here we don't have descendant keyword in CSS path. We should define like this. Sorry, not here. This is the descendant path. To identify descendant element, we use this format. CSS path should be defined in this format. Now see that the sixth option, using greater than symbol. Between the HTML tags, if you define greater than symbol, what does this means? It is a parent tag and it is a child tag of this HT1. ht2 is a child tag, t1 is a parent tag. See, look at that. Select all direct ht2 elements of ht1 parent. That means to identify, select direct child element of ht2 inside ht1. See here, I am using here div greater than symbol input. So the same thing, I am using here div. This input is direct child of this div. Input tag is a direct child of div element. So I can use here greater than symbol as well instead of blank space. It should work. So it is highlighting. So we can use greater than symbol. So what is the use of this format? To identify child element, immediate child element or direct child element. We use this option. And the next one, h1 plus ht2. See, just now we have seen, right? What is that? Following, one option we have seen. What is the use of following? It is equivalent to following option plus. In xpath it is equivalent to following option. Plus means, see how it works? To identify following ht2 HTML tag to element. Okay, just simply to say following element. Okay, following element of ht1. That means the element which is following this ht1 element. That means this element, ht2 element, should be displayed after ht1 in the HTML file. Then we can use this. That means it is a following example what we have used in xpath. Then we have to use here plus symbol, and this symbol is used to identify preceding elements. That means the elements displayed before the ht1. Before the ht1 element. That means this ht2 should be displayed before this ht1. Only then we can use this icon. Preceding elements, to identify preceding elements. We use this option. Okay, but these options will be used rarely. These two options we may not be using this one very frequently. And say that next one, we can use any other attribute other than class and ID attributes. If it is a class attribute, you should use like this. Or ID attribute, if you want to use only ID attribute to identify the element in CSS path, we should define like this. Suppose if you want to use attribute with the combination of HTML tag, along with the HTML tag, I want to use some attributes, then we should use this format. There is no @ symbol like in xpath. In xpath we are using @ symbol before the attribute name, and here it won't come. No @ symbol will be coming here. So let us see this. To identify the same text box, we are using attribute value along with the text, along with the HTML tag. So it is identifying successfully. That is this, using attributes along with HTML tag. And similarly, we can use multiple attributes also. One second, let me try this. multiple attributes, how to define. I think so under may work or may not work, I'm not sure. Let me check this one. Type equal to text, not working. Let us see that how to use multiple attributes. It's not working. Or comma something, there is some format. And okay, define here now single quotes. How to use my multiple attributes, not working. Okay, ma, I will check that one. What to use multiple attributes. There should be small way of using. We can define multiple attributes as well in CSS path. Okay. Now let us move to next one. See, this is a star symbol. See, I am using here HTML tag attributes, attribute name, star equal value. What is this means? It is equivalent to contains in the XPath. That means when you are defining a partial value, then you should use this star. Let us say this one example. Here I will define partial value ID, remove txt. Just I am defining partial value of ID. Now highlight this. Sorry, asterisk star type it before equal. So it is highlighting. Even though if you define simply partial value of ID, if you define this, if you add this asterisk before equal, it will identify that. So it is equivalent to contains function in XPath. And similarly, you have some other things. It is not defined here. What is that, right? Begins with, ends with also we can define. Begins with should be used here. This one cap symbol. It is a begins with. Element with attribute begins with value. That is what it will do. So now we should define here txt. I will define last few characters. Now let us check this one. It should work. So it is working fine. So caret symbol is a begins with character in CSS path. Similarly, ends with, there is one more character in CSS path, that is ends with the character. It is a dollar symbol we can use. Attribute which ends with this particular value, ends with value, ends with, sorry. And now define here SOURCE, ending with value. sorry, dollar, right? We have to give dollar. This is dollar, so it is highlighting. So like this, we can use dollar symbol before to match with ends with string, ends with attribute value. Clear? And now come to first child. First child means we can use first child method. We can use. Actually, it is not required, not much important. First child, last child, all those things, because I think so. I hope so. We can use like this also. Let us try. First thing. See what I am trying to do here. Inside the table, I want to select a first row. Inside the date table, I want to select a first row here. Click this. Open. Let us see that. So this keyword will identify inside the division with ID value, onboard calendar, and inside that, see, I have given space here. What does that means? Descendant element. So I want to go to table. Inside the table, again descendant, first child. Got it? That means it will identify in the first table, it will identify first row. It would identify first row inside the first table, inside is division. So look at this and highlight this. See, it is highlighting the first row inside the. Suppose if you want to select a second row, let us try this, whether it will work or not, I am not sure. Can we use like this directly? No, it is not working. That's why we should use these options. Got it? In xpath we can use like this directly, but in CSS path it is not allowing to use like this. So we should define here like this. Suppose if you want to select a second row, you should define like this: nth child of 2. Now highlight, it will highlight second row. To highlight a third row, you have to give here third. So it is highlighting third row. Got it? So it is another function. Nth child is another function. So that I have defined already. So to select a first child, the function is just a first child. To select a last child, you can select last child. To select any other child, you have to use this function. Nth child of this number. What is that element number? We have to use like this. Got it, Jomi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are all various CSS options that we can use in our Selenium script while identifying the elements. You have any doubts? What you can try, right? What you can try, right? You can try to create one script just only by using xpath or only by using CSS path. Really, this redbus.application application is a very good application to learn. See, if you try to automate this application, you will face a lot of challenges. It's not that much easy to automate this particular application, even by using Qtp as well. So using Selenium, really it is very good application to learn particularly. If you can automate the flows in this redbus.an application, then definitely you can be able to automate complex applications using Selenium or using Qtp very easily. So if you can try to see, here there are a lot of things. So in our input, you will be passing just a date, correct? So if you pass just a date, if I pass March, suppose May 2015, if I pass, here it displays only April, then you have to navigate to the next screen. Then you have to check that where this May is displayed, either in the first table or in the second table, you have to check that. Then you have to identify day. Understand? Suppose if you want to select a August date, then you have to again navigate till August displayed here. Then you have to select. So this logic really is not that much easy to write a script. Okay, you can try these kind of really write applications, Jomi, to learn real time and to learn quickly how we can do the scripting. Anyway, we'll try with some things in our sessions as well. Once we try with validations, all those stuff. now. Okay, so now just we completed elements identification. We discussed about till now, just we completed how to identify various web elements and what are the different options are available to identify web elements in Selenium. So there are 7 locators, right, to identify the elements. What are those? ID, name, class, tag, linked text, partial linked text, xpath, and CSS path. There are 8 locators. There are 8 different locators are available in Selenium to identify the web elements. See, CSS path and xpath are very special locators, really very useful, particularly when you don't find any attribute like ID or name or class or tag name with some unique value. Then you should go with xpath or CSS path. So really, if you are good in using these xpaths and CSS paths, really it will be more easy while working with dynamic elements in the web pages. And also you can reduce coding as well. You can reduce coding as well using xpath. Really, one very good example I can say that this one, which we have defined here for this. See this table. It is really right. I want to get a departure time of what is that? SRM transports travel or KPN travels, whatever I want. So it is not easy logic. If you write a code for this, you need to write really many lines of code to go to all the rows and to search that where this SRM transport is displayed, and then get that particular departure time element from that particular row, and then you have to extract that value. So, but if you use effectively xpath, we can easily identify even complex or complicated dynamic elements. If you use effectively the CSS path and xpath in the Selenium, we can easily identify complicated dynamic elements. That is one important use of xpath and CSS paths, and that's why we should know in detail how to use xpath and the CSS path in Selenium scripting. That's why we discussed in detail various options that can be used inside xpath and the CSS path. Only thing is we have to practice all these things. You have to see at least with some example how it is identifying. Okay? Any questions, any doubts, Jomi?
No, I'm clear.
Yeah.
No, I'm clear.
Okay, ma, fine. And maybe next session we will be starting with our scripting. Till now we discussed only about identification. So what is our next session, right? We'll be concentrating on.
So,
yeah.
But I have a question. So we can try one sample thing like 4 or 5 models or 4 or 5 fields, one with XPath format and one with CSS format, right? Just to understand like how it.
Exactly. Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have not gone into the framework yet, right?
No. See, it is normal scripting. We are now just simply we are learning how to script using Selenium, right? For that, first you should know how to identify the elements. Once you identify the elements, then you can be able to write the script. Is it right?
Okay.
Now we can write a simple script, just only submitting the data into the application without any validations. Maybe in the next session we will cover verifications, how to get the data from the application and how to do validations, and how to add some wait statements like synchronization points, explicit wait statements, and implicit wait statements. Those things we will discuss.
Okay.
These are the actual something concepts, scripting concepts we will be getting into. Once you come to know these things, verifications, explicit wait, and getting the runtime data, then you can be able to automate normal test cases, any test case.
Okay.
Okay. So that we'll discuss next session, and then maybe we'll proceed. Okay, Marjomi. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.